So once again, good afternoon, my dear Prof. Ed students. At the outset, let me first say my heartfelt gratitude and thank you to all of you for your generous support in our Sinulog 2021 activities, most especially with your kindness in giving out, in shelling out your blessings, shelling out an amount and sharing it to the people in need. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the amount that you have raised from your contributions is around 7,000 plus. I'm not just sure, but it reached that number. So we thank you for such generosity, and we hope that the Lord, through Santo Niño, our patron in GCC, will bless you more and your families as well. And thank you also for those who had extended their help in the packing of the goods and in the distribution during the outreach activities. So before we have this afternoon session, thank you also for tuning in the pre-recorded session lecture last January 16. The pre-recorded lecture was the topic that will complete the first not module, but the first coverage: the teacher, the learner, and the learning environment. So, as per instruction, let me just clarify, if not remind everyone, especially those who are not here around the virtual class and those who will be viewing the recorded video, the recording of the session. Please comment or write your comment down at the YouTube, okay, at the YouTube video, not on the Google Classroom. I appreciate it that you say or you write down your comments, but it must be in YouTube, okay, on that particular video on the YouTube channel. And I hope that that goes to everyone and it will be understood. Now, I believe that not everyone has submitted their outputs. The first semi-assignment, it's actually just a survey of your learning styles, your multiple intelligences. And I think it will have a bearing on it's marked late or it's um, submitted late, because that is already overdue. But I will still accept, okay? I will still accept those who has not yet done the MI profile of themselves. Now, based on the results that you've had taking the MI assessment, did you agree? Did you confer with the results that you are a particular multi-intelligent individual? Nagtuo ba mo? Nakatuo ba mo? Or were you surprised, or were you already expecting that that will be the result of your MI? Anyone can share, please raise a hand. You want to share your comments or your reaction regarding the MI assessment that you've taken? There's a raise hand button if you want to share. There's no right or wrong answer, it's sharing. Okay, so nobody wants to share. Maybe Angie, did you agree
Yes,
with the
sir.
results of your MI?
Sa ako as sir, mura expected, somewhat expected na ko nga didto ko mo match kay sa amo pod na family more on musically inclined pod mi nga family. So So, murag wala ako kay ko na shock nga ang pinakataas nga mga percentages katong musical na MI.
Oh, so maybe it's actually you can say it's determined or predetermined because you are having a family line of um, musical musically gifted or musically inclined individuals. Now,
And then,
Angie, that needs to be proven. Mm. Can you sing for us? Mm. How can we know that
walk
you're
already.
ay hindi ka ready? Naku, no? Maybe next time you'll have to prepare an intermission knowing that you're a musical intelligent learner.
Medyo,
Yes, thank you so much, Angie.
so,
Yes, Mr. Boris, would you like to say something? You were raising your hand. Or maybe you're just practicing the raise hand button.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes. Would you like to say something or share something
Yes, sir.
regarding the MI assessment?
Yes, sir. Nadunggan ko, sir.
Yes, of course.
Based on the result of my MI, sir, uh, the highest is the spatial or spatial. It is more on visually and shapes of objects, sir. I, in our family, we are good in art something. So, muna yung kuan ako sa pinaka-highest then. Maybe siguro then musical na develop lang ako na siya sir through environment or something na learn na po na ako na siya sir then as well as the body movements because I am a dancer also sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Emerson.
Yes
Yes,
sir.
a visual, spatial, or spatial individual is somewhat also inclined to arts. Okay,
Yes sir. I am
uh,
good in art sir.
spaces. When you say spaces, you can actually become creative, uh, given the representations of different kinds of artistic manifestations.
Yes sir.
Thank you so much.
Welcome sir.
Let's have one more. Or among you here, who was not able to, I mean, who disagreed with the results or who was most shocked that, my God, I am something like this or something like that? Was there ever that sort of reaction? Naabay na nakurat yung kaayo nga totally unbelievable para sa iya ang iyang result? Well, anyway, maybe most of us are actually, because we're aware of ourselves, then our self-reflective aspect will really have um, determined even before we took the, or even before you took the test. Okay, so thank you. Now, as I gathered from your comments on the YouTube link from the recorded lecture on the learning environment, now, how significant how significant now is the learning environment in the new normal setting, in the new normal learning landscape? How can you associate now? How can you integrate now learning environment in terms of the new normal, the pandemic uh, era of learning? What's your comment? What can you say about it? Because in the lecture, you will notice that it's more likely on the learning environment of a classroom, of a school, in a school setting. So therefore, um, that might not be that might not be the um, focal environment right now in the new normal setting. So what can you say about it? Yes, Mr. Nibreda, would you like to say something?
Um, Actually, kuan diha physical form and psychological claims. Tama ba, sir? Um, para sa ako kuan siya nang dili kay siya yung efficient ug effective, especially nga sa new normal. Kung i-apply na to sa new normal, because the physical aspect is not kanang kuan bitaw ng effective as much kanang kung physical yun ta nag-eskwela. Kay kung and this kanang technology man good kanang lahi ra atong kuan atong sana kanang atong naandan ba, so atong settings, so lahi ra kayo. So kung kuan physically more development or more improvement ang mahitabo. Then sa psychological claims po, na siya effect, na siya domino effect. Pero na-cover man gyapon siya, na reach man gyapon ang iyang kuan objectives sa through online, through virtual. Ano siya, sir?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Nibreda. Yes, there is really some significant impact on the learning environment now in the new normal. Because as you were saying, because we are distanced, because no face-to-face interaction or classes were allowed, and the modality of learning in most, in most setups are modular, or the DepEd, the public schools are on module or on modular delivery. Well, the private schools have the capacity, not just private, but some public schools, they have online classes, but to the extent that the learning environment now is diversified. It's no longer contained in the classroom or within school premises. Now, as you can see, the learning environment doesn't necessarily have to be the classroom in the first place. The idea of the learning environment is where the student and the teacher, or the learner and the facilitator, meets. When there are roles that are being played of a student or a teacher, that to that extent, where that happens, where that occurs, is the learning environment. Your house, your homes rather, are learning environments. Who's acting or who's playing the role of a teacher? Who's being a student or a learner? Okay, so anywhere, everywhere, anytime is a learning environment and a learning time. So we cannot just discount the fact that because we are used to the structured classroom, the physical boundaries of a classroom, that we are conditioned. Okay? In some parts of the world, in some curricula rather, they have been adapted already. They have adapted already to online learning or distance learning, ODL, online distance learning, or even on modular approaches. It's just that the pandemic leveled up and rushed everything for everyone else, that we didn't have time to adjust. I mean, the adjustment period must be a critical one, because that's a transition from what we are used to what we shall be, okay, getting used by now. And the idea is good. Okay, distance learning is good, just like what you're doing. Okay, it allows you to learn even from home. Learning at home, it allows me to work from home. But the challenges of internet connectivity, issues on availability of gadgets, quality of materials, or the quality of the gadgets used, signals, financial constraints, and all that, support from community, support within the family. They are critical issues in the success of any learning environment now. But I hope we carry this through, even if you will be teachers of quite a new way of teaching and learning, given that the pandemic taught us a lesson. on how to be not just adaptive, but on being resilient. So at this point, do you have any clarification or questions for the learning environment? Or anything you'd like to add on? Anything you'd like to share if there's an idea boiling inside you? You better not keep those thoughts to yourselves. This might be the time for you to express. Or probably you understood it so well that you don't anymore elaborate. Or you
Hello,
did not
sir.
understand it at all, that you
Hello,
cannot also share.
hello, sir.
Yes, Emerson?
Kanang addition lang ako nga pan sir based on our experience manggod sa magsaysay college sir because I am teaching physical education. So most of our students really wanted to have a face-to-face or the traditional classroom setting because they think that something lesser kay ang ilang knowledge nga na or something learning nila sir compared to the face-to-face because we are using a modular approach sir. So they're complaining or something they wanted to have a face-to-face kay into modular manggod sir sa most especially sa physical education sir wherein performance task manggod sir. So we cannot project the our objective most especially in sports or dancing. So there's a lot na kinahanglan gyud mo siya nga makita nimo personal person to person nga through execution because sir. So what we have what we have is ano lang sir video presentation. So dili gyud namo siya makuan gyud bitaw sir nga nag-perform gyud bitaw nga into pamitaw gyud sir nga sakto nga execution bitaw sir. So medyo nalay gamay nga kanang problema pero na-carry man pod sir.
Yes. When you said makeri lang, that is actually our running mantra. Everything can be worked out, diba? BDO, we can find ways because we don't have a choice. And once we run out of options, then we try to innovate. It's not about you don't have anything more to give, but maybe you can do something else that will also meet the standards or meet the goals that you are trying to achieve or the objectives. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Aside from Mr. Bernados, anyone else?
Mr. Ragrag sir.
Yes, Mr. Ragrag, the earliest person to enter the virtual classroom this afternoon.
Dili gid ko ba pero ako lang i-share kay focus ko ni Sir Emerson. Sir, ako i-add pod. Ako lang po nauna-unaan ba? Okay ra sir? Madaunggan ko.
Yes, we can hear you.
Sir, sagara magid ako nang bantayan pod sir kanang during sa modular lugar karon ang mga answer sa mga student is mostly parehas so magkinapiya lugar di bali sila sa iyang kauban na i-chatra nila, i-text lang sa mga answer mo dili kay isla gahago ang uban sa ila so which is unfair sa uban. So napon akong idea pod nga kung pwede ba ni is it valid mga tanan punta ko sir kung himon punta na ako nga instead mag-answer sila sa module magkuha na lang sila mangita ko way like reporting through video presentation which is i-report nila ilang topic then inana sir as i-report nila then is it okay sir through video presentation i-report nila sila instead or mag-answer sila sa module. Thank you sir.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Ragrat. Your observations are really true. It's one of the dilemmas that we have right now. Perhaps all the Philippine teachers, because we cannot really be assured of the authenticity, the truthfulness of the outputs that our students give, especially in the modules when they answer. Okay, I mean, practically and frankly speaking, what do we expect when students are at home, when they will just be the one to answer? Okay? And what do we expect them to do? We expect them to, we're not expecting them to be cheaters, but we expect already and assume that they will really have to find the answers and find ways to get the answer right. And because we don't have the classroom set up, then we cannot have the monitoring as in simultaneous. And we believe that the modules, I'm sorry to say this, some of you are in DepEd already or with connections in DepEd, but the modules are just actually a distraction. Can we really tell that our students are learning yung totoo talaga? School year 2020-2021 and maybe so with the coming school years with this setup, can we really say that they have learned? You give them the module every week, they answer the module, a lot of complaints in answering the module, but they still deliver the module back again and get again a new module. Are we really ensured that our students, even if they answer, and we don't know if they are the ones answering, really got it right? They got the correct answer, but that's beyond the point. But did they maximize learning? And that's the biggest question that is obviously answered by no. But of course, the democracy that we have, our bureaucratic systems, lisod bansad nga wala i-print ka module, unsay trabahoon sa maestra sa DepEd. Magdawat ng lugar siya sa iyang binuan, nga siya gihimo. At least, mag-stapler na lang po siya. Di ba? And quite frankly speaking, I'm not saying that the public school system or any educational system does not have flaws or is free of imperfections, but if you look at closely in some settings, some, I'm not saying nga tanan ha, bisag wala pa'y pandemic, naman po yung mga maestro, nga dili ang tudlo pagtarong, why klase-klase, di ba? So kana si estudyante karon, nanay module, mas nakuratan na siya kay atot tanang subject na akong giansiran, labon kung naiting klase pa ni, nay maestra nga absinos, nay maestra nga digsulod, nay maestra nga maghimon sa klase, sige nagpalimpyo. I'm not saying nga kana siya ang general situation, but there are a tiny bit of truth in that. Di ba? So, makaingat nga, why natun-an karon sa new normal? Wa man gyapon kay natun-an dito bisag nay maestra. So that's the moral obligation that is placed on our minds right now. Unsa kon ba nako pagka mahimong maayong maestra? Aglisod man gyud tagtudlo kanang naay actual. Karon pa baka nga gi-imagine lang nato mga estudyante nga nagbasa, nag-answer, unsa na diha, nag-module. And with regards to your comment, Jemar, on can they have it on video, explain? You know what? That's better because, for instance, I will call you one by one and ask you something to share something. Okay, but on that case, it's also case-to-case contextualized basis. Not everyone will have access to technology. Okay na siguro karon kita murag live man ta. I mean, we're synchronous in session. So I can ask you at the moment. It's like impromptu. Pero kung recorded video, wala man sa takabalo kung scripted na to or okay, nanay nagtabang sa ira to, nanay sa likod dito sa iya nga nag-coach or nag-prompt. So regarding the authenticity, mas I encourage people to join online classes because we can get the raw data, the exact, not the exact, but the real thing. For example, if I will ask Sandra, hello Sandra. I hope Sandra can hear us. Oh, yes, Sandra. Good afternoon, rather. So, what can you say about that comment by Gemar on if the requirements are really copied, then have the students make videos or submit through videos or tasks that are on video?
Sir, come again, sir.
Yes, Sandra. What's your comment? Gemar said earlier that because of this module, new normal thing, the modules, students have the same answers. Practically, they are just sharing their answers. We don't say they're
Yes.
copying, sharing na lang. Medyo, dili kay siya harsh nga term kay. Nangopya, mura bagsak sa kayo. Share. That's what I tell also my students, no? Ayaw pangopya, pagpangutana lang. Ayaw na pangopya kay nagli, pero kana mangutana sa answer, no? Between the two, kana mangopya mo nakasala, pero nangutana, mutana raman. Okay, Sandra? Unsay mong comment nga, instead of kanang mga answer, murag gihapon, kinopya ra gyapon or shared answer lang, di ay, sorry. Video na lang kuno.
Based sa istorya ni Sir Jenmar, sir, okay ra man gihapon, pero ang uban man good, labi na sa public school diri sa amo sa Balason, sa i-base lang nako sa akong anak, labi na kay murag lack of, murag dili kayo kuan pa sa gadgets, sir ba, dili pa kaayo kay balo maggamit ang mga bata. Depende lang siguro dadtong na ay murag na use na gid sila sa paggamit, pero kung katong uban nga wala, maglisod pod, sir. That's all, sir.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Gudo. Accessibility, aside from accessibility, is the level of comfort or in the use of the gadgets. Even us, no, bisag kita naman, bisag kamo siguro, you're still
Maski
you're
ako,
still
sir.
in the practice mode. This is like practice mode for everyone else. Nakauna lang siguro
Yes,
ko
sir.
pa because I have been teaching months before, diba? Before the beginning of your class. So, nakasugod man kung tudlo sa August. So I was able to have some advance na pila kalakang lang gamay sa technology because nagsugod mi sa August, but we're all on the same boat. And with children, we can say dali ra sila makatuon because they're still young. They, no, may kay sila mag tuki-tuki, you know, but we can say that's for a few because not all will have the liberty and the access to buy gadgets.
Yes, sir.
And even a cell phone, some of our students, even a cell phone has limitations. Kinahanglan gid nga kani nga cellphone, this particular OS, dapat Android, sa ba Android 11, I don't know, or iOS something, or dapat inani ka kuan yang specs. So dili gyapon sa nato ma-ensure tanan. But these challenges are actually part of the package of becoming a teacher, being a teacher, especially now in the setup. Okay, so I think we have to close that chapter on the teacher, learner, and the learning environment, and let's proceed to what we shall have this afternoon. So we are going to the principles of learning. Actually, this is supposed to be part 2 of the pre-recorded lectures. Let me just share. I already recorded the I mean, I already recorded this lesson. Unfortunately, when I recorded together with the first one, I mean the ones that you have already viewed and seen, I wasn't aware that the microphone during that solo recording was turned off. I was really, I don't know. I was I was angry at myself because I lectured already for like I think more than 45 minutes, only to find out that the recording was mute. So even that lapse in technology awareness, it got to me. So wala. Sayang kay kung effort pa naman ko to kay naka-makeup ko to pag-recording, unya kay na mute, di ba? So ang taman. So let's proceed. Principles of learning. I hope you can hear me. Okay, ba hindi na mute na ko ni karon? Can you hear me? Please say
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Loud and
Okay.
clear.
Loud and clear, that's good. Okay, basin
Yes,
mo
sir.
na one. Okay. So for this afternoon, we will familiarize with the principles of learning, draw connections of the principles of learning and their applicability to teaching, cite practices and situations that manifest the principles and laws of learning. But first, we ask, what is a principle? Ano ba ang principle? What's a principle? What's your definition of principle? Is someone raising a hand? Let me just check. This is something
I
that I
guess
don't like with
I guess the principle, sir, means procedure or steps.
a yes, procedure, or steps. And we know for a fact that principles are, when they are procedures or steps, they serve as our guide, or they serve as guides.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's correct. So it comes from the Latin term princeps, okay, which means the beginning or the source. Okay, and this beginning or source is that which something is based or founded. That's why it becomes steps or procedures or guides, because what we believe or where we base our beliefs, okay, they are our principles. And the principles are held. We hold these principles. We hold them to be true. We hold them to be correct. And therefore, because they're true and correct, we follow them. They become our guide. They become the stepping stones or the jump starts. Because everything that we do is based on something that we believe in. And they are the principles that we have. Okay, and for the learning experience, these are the following principles. First, learning is an experience which occurs inside the learner and is activated by the learner. So this first principle tells us that learning is something that is within the learner, and it is activated by the learner himself or herself. First off, it's an experience. It's an experience that is processed by the individual receiving a particular curriculum, a particular school program. And in that individual, the individual decides whether he or she will receive or reject or modify or assimilate or integrate whatever he or she has experienced in the process. No matter how we convince or push our children, our students to learn, if they are not in themselves intrinsically motivated, they will never learn or they cannot learn. Bisa kung saan pa siguro nimo og pugos, no? Kisa may mag-decide sa kinaulahian kinsa man. Di ba ang bata kay siya man na nag-eskwela? Di ba bisan pag unsa nimo abay og bunal, no? Kung di gina siya magsulat, di na siya magtingog, di na siya sabay mo pahimo mag-answer. No? It will be a hard-won battle if the learner in himself or herself does not activate the desire to learn. Next, learning is the discovery of the personal meaning and relevance of ideas. Lahat ba ng naririnig mo, nakikita mo, sinasabi ng guro mo, tinatanggap mo yon at natututunan mo? Do you believe in everything that I say? Oh, sir, tuugid ko kay ikaw mo teacher. What if I'm saying something wrong? Or what if I'm not teaching you correctly? But because I am saying it, correct? But at any rate, again, the decision to learn and absorb learning is with the students. Your discovery of the relevance of ideas. No? Sa kadaghan sa ipangyaw-yaw sa teacher, sa kadaghan sa activity nga ipahimo, sa kadaghan sa mga input, sa lecture, sa lessons, dili man na tanan imong ma-absorb, dili man na tanan imong matun-an ug makuha. You will only find those that are significant and relevant to you. Di ba? Nagitay mga, ay ganahan ko basta, kani akong favorite topic. Agka-excited ko ba sa kaning science na kay na ako yung mga agkakuanan dayon lagi nga inani din na siya. Di ko ganahan sa English kay magsulat-sulat sa mga essay, wala bigi ko yung mga pila ka kutsara ra ni akong in English. Na math patay, di ba? Students will have some preferences, but those preferences actually will be there finding the significance and relevance of ideas. May mga butang nga dili mo kinahanglan nga imong paminawon nga nung imong timan-an. Di ba? Kana lugar maminaw ka sa resulta sa swear de sa kuan, draw dia sa TV. Di ba? Kato man paminawa na kadturo ko sa portion nga katong na ako gitayan nga sweepstakes promo. Paminawon pa nimong advertisement, dili naman, di ba? Because you have to match muna akong kinahanglan. Mura sa niya ang akong consider nga importante. Di ba sa YouTube, skip ads. Mahilig kita skip ads. Ano man, gusto naman kumudiretso dito sa akong gusto matanawan or mga paminawan. Inanagya po ng mga bata, na sila yung mga automatic na skip. Di sila mga hunahuna. Kani, labay. Oops, kani siya. Next, learning is a behavioral change because it is a consequence of experience. Behavioral change because of experience necessitates that there is learning or that learning has occurred. Okay, when behaviors will change, di ba? Naglain ang batasan, sir? Nangilad lugar? Or nibutan? Whichever changes happen, then learning has occurred to result to that. Di ba? Imong amiga, no? Nangutana ka nga, huy na assignment na to, dito kang misisumunod, nga ipasa ka rin nga si Mana. Wala man. Pagkahuman kinaadi ay. Sa sunod, pagkita ninyo o pagpangutana niya, gibaslan din nimo. Ang ano man. Maro di ka ha? Or tikasan di ka gusto malamangan ha? Behavioral change. Diba? Consequence of experience. Imong anak, ng batang gamay, kinsa baka diya sa inyo na anak or mga pagmangkon. Kita siya og tasa, tasa nga na inini tubig. Di ba nag-aso? Okay. Kuan man, bagong bukal. Ayaw, no. Hot na hot, init. So, init. So, dili hawiran sa bata. No, kay hot, pero kay bata man lagi. Gidogno ang kamot, nalapwahan. Oh, hawid pa kag kuan o tusnob pa ka imo pa nang tusnob imo kamot sa kuan, butang nga nag-aso, tubig nga nag-aso, init. 'Di ba? So mag-change ang behavior. Kay naka-learn man siya nga, agoy, the last time I did this happened. Dabi kita man siya ice, na may ice. Na ang ice kay nag-aso man gihapon. Mayon na siya init. Init kay nag-asuman kay ang experience sa aso kay nang init. Na paghikap niya sa ice kay bugnaw tugnaw man. Hala, na-shock ang bata. Dili dito na nag-aso init. Naa sa di ay bugnaw. So maka-distinguish. So, that's a process of the behavioral changes. Bamaski ka mo. Kisa man din ang mga nagmahal, nasaktan, nagpailad na sad. Naaba? Murag nakangisi man si Kuan, si Angie, si Andrea, nagmahal, nasaktan at nagpaluko ulit. Munang kantahan din mo sa kanang Filipino song na di na natuto. Wa na katuon. Muna diha. Nagpailad-ilad pa. Kanang gugma, as they say, gugma is the greatest learning experience, either positive or negative. Daghan magigkayo di po pakatuon based sa ilang experience. So, muna yung sa cognitive psychologists, kaning tao kay nay diferensya gid ko na mga tao, no? Di pare sa mananap nga, kabalo na ang mananap nga, no? Kanang halas manungka, tungkaon gid ka, no? Kanang iho, tukubon jud ka, no? Kanang amigas mo kiit gani mo sakit gyud, di ba? Instinct, reflexes. Ikaw tao, no? Kabalo naman ka sa may tabo, pero agpabiktima gyapon ka. Moingon na kag sa dilang sa sunod dili na dayon sa sunod na sa lahi man tong sa una lahi man sa okay, no? Manguyab na lang tag iring tiger, no? Way daghan kuan kiyaw, pero that's actually the wisdom of changes in behavior is a result of learning, no? Di naman pasabot sa learning kaning sa classroom setting. Di ba? In life in general, it's a learning experience. Okay, moving on. Okay, basi na pa wala naka-move on din ha. So kita ang mag-move on. Learning is a cooperative and collaborative process. Cooperation fosters learning. So it's not just a solo. Sir, ingon ka ganiha nga, activated by the learner. Kanang ang learner ragid ang maka open sa iyang learning, maka-unlock, achievement unlocked. But it's not that it's contained in isolation. Nadili uso ang isolation sa learning. Nadili na siya COVID. But once the individual has opened up, naka-password na open na niya ang password to learning, the individual continues to explore, and by exploring, linking with others. Kay parehas ba na sila mga estudyante, di ba? Tagsa-tagsa na yung mga desire to know, desire to learn. So, when they meet, because they have the need of knowledge, of wanting to learn, then they will collaborate and cooperate. Marabi na in my experience, ako mga estudyante, sa ilang pagting exam, na ilang mga tawag na nga teamwork. Sus, unsa nga teamwork? Basta kayo na teamwork lagi kay, no? Nagsabot na sa 15 ikaw study sa chapter 1, ikaw study sa chapter 2. Or basta true or false, ikaw bahala. Multiple choice, pintot-pintot. Pag problem solving, in a negative way, no? Ang mga bata, master ka na ng cooperation o collaboration. But really, that's why we give group works or group tasks, because we know that one individual can learn, but putting them together in a group will make them even learn more. That's why we have to be very careful because groupings are also abused. No? Mugawa sa din diya sa mga groupings nga dili na say collaborative ang nahitabo. Usahay ang nahitabo kay no dawat limpyo na ang uban sad no nahimo ng over control, overbearing, over control. Kay sila na di na nila matag-ag chance ang uban nga makahimong task. So there's a key ingredient in balancing the cooperative and collaborative nature of activities. Next, learning is an evolutionary process. Okay, it does not happen overnight. It does not, okay, automatically makes the individual, okay, ready or intelligent, but it's something that goes on and on and on. It never stops. That's why we're saying we never stop learning. We are teaching, but we are also learning. Learning is sometimes a painful process. Of course, the painful process is not really physically painful, but you know when you learn and when you engage in tasks, it has an amount of effort that you exert or that is to be exerted, and there's the painful process there. Okay? Mahago na gid paghago gid nimo no. Mga uban nga naglabara ang ulo kasi study. Grabe agabilar na sa study or kabuntagan paghimo sa mga project, pag-edit sa mga video. Okay? That's the bargain also that you have when you really try to learn. Okay? Dili man ni ang learning kay mura ra og kanang no. Tumaran na bitaw nato og kapsula humana dahil naka-learn na ta. It's an evolution, and thus the process will have hard work and really hard work. One of the richest resources for learning is the learner himself or herself. Remember, he or she personally activates the desire to learn. And whatever it is that you're interested to know, you will likely pursue that one. And the case right now in 21st century, our students are actually very resourceful. In fact, napay mga estudyante nga mas bright pa sa ato. No? Tinuod na. And we must never be ashamed of that nga. Kani estudyante bright pa sa ako, pero ayo sa pag-ingon nga, siya na lang ito ba maestra, di na lang ikaw, di na lang kita. Diba? We are here not because we want to make our students bright, kay na may bright pa sa ato, but we are here to facilitate how they can maximize their brightness or their intelligences or develop sa mga wa pa na develop. Learning is an emotional as well as an intellectual process. It's cognitive, it's affective, di ba? It's not just here. It's also here. Huh? Here di ay. Okay. So, remember that emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, as they say, is as important as your cognitive or intelligence quotient. Ano man. No? Ang nasa una-una, no, could be affected by what is felt. Di ba? Kanang imong feeling, it can have an overriding effect to your thinking. Bisan pa og ang thinking mo nag-control sa tanan. No? Pero ang ato mga estudyante, remember, junior high school, senior high school, mga teenagers, they are at the time of their lives when they experience a lot of emotions, shifts in their mga hilig, preferences, interests, and mga relationships, no? So, muna may kayo ka nga, pag emotionally affected ang bata, naagi na siya academic, dili siya disparity, but it will have some academic effects of performance, of their ratings. Learning is an individual process of problem solving and is highly unique. Because, as we say, individually activated by the learners themselves, and their problem solving processes is highly unique. How they do about certain activities or tasks in life or in school is entirely up to them. How they're going to solve. Just like what we are doing now. If we are not familiar with technology, we try to make, I don't know, adjustments. We try to make inquiries, di ba? Ang uban sa inyo kay dili pa kabalo sa tulid in the group chat. Kung saan pag-activate sa ilang mga G Suite account, di ba? Gituduan na nga kanang imong ID number, ato din ka sa Google, ang imong password. May uban nga, uy, paspas humana naka G Suite na. Karon na pagyapoy wala naka G Suite, wala gamit sa ilang mga gcci.edu.ph. Pero kaning sila sunod si Mana, sure ko naka G Suite na tanan. Diba mangita man sila paagi nga unsaon ba ning G Suite, imbis G Suite na buisit na hinuon. Buisot. But please try to activate, no? We are paying dollars for the Google Suite for education. So it's for the benefit of everyone. By the way, so please activate your Gmails. Okay, so those are the principles. Now, those principles are accompanied with the laws of learning. Sa classroom may batas, ingon pa ni Kim Chu. No? Wala nagkapakapa si Kim Chu. Sa classroom may batas, pero wata kabalo kung apil ba dani ang bawal lumabas. Okay? So these laws of learning, Kim Chu, is first espoused by, diba? Tutok na tutok si Uncle Edward Thorndike. No? So you search up for Sir Edward Thorndike and say a little prayer for him. So, salamat kayo, no? Uncle Edward Thorndike, ni mga balaod So what did Thorndike espouse? The first three actually. The law of effect, the law of exercise, the law of readiness. And then further researchers and scholars added law of primacy, law of recency, law of intensity, and then the law of freedom. So in all, we have 7. Ang 7 batas ng classroom. So the law of effect. Learning is strengthened when accompanied by a pleasant or satisfying feeling. Okay. So it's about, I hope you can recall sa inyong discussion kang Ma'am Weng sa inyong child development, child psychology. It's about what? What can you recall from this law of effect? Learning is strengthened when accompanied by a pleasant or satisfying feeling. Nakalimot na mo? Or have you recalled the term rewards and reinforcement? Rewards and punishment? Stimulus response? Uy, si Uncle Ivan Pavlov di ay. Ano man nakahindom ni Ivan Pavlov?
Di ba sir, mga masyadong classical conditioning?
Oh, very good. Classical conditioning. Then you have B.F. Skinner. Mga conditioning theories. Thank you so much. Was that Janelle?
Francis, sir? Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. Learning is strengthened if there is a positive, satisfying feeling. Naka-answer ang bata sa correct. O, di ba? Mas mayroon mo ang teacher. Bigyan natin siya ng
Star.
jacket.
I appreciate.
Star
Bigyan
is
ng jacket. Bigyan natin ng 3 bagsak. Bigyan natin ng Clap, 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 clap. Oy, ang say feeling sa bata nga gipakpakan kay naka-answer correct.
Ganahan siya, sir.
Ganahan siya nga mag-answer.
Sulok sa sir sa kapay.
Mga bali nila mga kamot sige. Oh, pataasa sa kamot. Labi sa elementary pero sa high school agoy Ginoo ko. Nalimaw na lang ilok sa ban kay pataas sa kamot. Oh, pansiron. But not just that, the law of effect will also give us the reinforcement theories, di ba? Aside from clap clap clap, yung tag ay may mag-answer, okay, mag-answer na ni 5 points, ay naka-answer na, lagi hindi mag-answer. Kung we look at the reverse, the opposite, learning is weakened if there is a negative feeling. Sabi ko maignan nga, wrong imong answer. Bugo ka, agugoy. Either that could be positively taken or negatively received by the students. Okay, you get 1 star. O, di ba, 1 star. Mailan pa nimo ang mga preschool sa 1 star, 2 star. High school din kay, na kay kindi, na kay chocolate. Agoy, hayahay ba kayo? No? Mapungag na sila kung tagaan mo chocolate, mapurdoy pug ka kay sige kag hatag sa chocolate. Pero learn to know what particular strengtheners work best with your students. Dili pwede anaron sa hatag-hatag kay mag-expect na sila nga nakaihatag. Bonus points. Usahay bonus points ihatag. Usahay sad pakpakan sa mga Junisha Club. Usahay sad tagaan og reward, exemption. Iba ng law of effect. No? Law of exercise. Things most often repeated are best remembered. Law of exercise. We can see this in the classroom. In what particular activity? Sir, Zumba, PE, okay, exercise. Okay. Things often remembered or repeated are remembered. Muna siyang gitawag na itong mga class routines. No? Classroom routines, exercise, drills, review quizzes, examinations, tests, pre-test, post-test, kanang balik-balikon ba? No? Kanang mga butang nga ibalik-balik na ay routine, na ay schedule. Okay? Dali rin namin duman sa mga bata. No? Munang, ba? Okay, sabay, pas-pas kayo makamemorize sa multiplication table diri. 2 times 2 equals 4. 2 times 3, di ba? Pero paabot 6, 7, 8, 9, hindi na ako makamemorize na. Pero kung imo balik-balikon, no? The law of exercise will let you achieve the remembering portion. Quizzes also, no? That's law of exercise. Ano naman? After you have a lesson, na then kay exercises or workbook or worksheets, ansiran sa bata. Karon ang mga bata, no? Tungod sa modular, mas na kayo. Na routine naman nila nga ihatag ang module, day 1, iuli din pagka next day or next week, kung ano sad, answered ba? Narinig mong routine. So, mas kaya mga activities sa mga libro, like before magsugod ang lesson, ay basahon sa nimo, ansira nimo. Pag human sa lesson, ansira na sa didto. Pagka na siya, nahimong routine sa mga bata, di na sila malimot. Conscious na din na sila, na sila ay awareness. Law of readiness. Individuals learn best when they are ready and that they can see a reason for learning. Remember, in the principles of learning, it is the individual who determines, activate ko na akong learning or isasara ko talaga itong sarili ko, di ko gusto magtuon, I will not learn, I will not listen. And we will never know when an individual is ready. But you can see that the individual is ready when he or she will manifest signs and symptoms of readiness. Kinsa man sa inyo din hiyang kanana ni mga anak or katong inyong mga anak nga kanang first day of school. Unsa may inyong mga experiences sa kanang first day of school sa inyong mga anak bi? Labi na katong pag grade 1 niya or bisag daycare. Pag daycare na ba din nga? Yes, who's raising Cherry? You want to share something?
Sir, good afternoon. Kadungog ko nimo, sir?
Yes, we can hear you.
Wala signal. Sir, during first day in class, sir, labi na mga bata kanang daycare. Apil ni mama mag-eskwela, mag-uban.
And so, did you experience nagkila ka ang bata, di ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Dili mo lingkod kung dili apil ang mama.
Naghila ka pag sunod lang, di nagbuso balik. No? Dapat nga, hindi na ko gusto balik kay pangit ako maestra. Na. May mga batang ilana, di ba? That's why karon ang grade 1, ang pleasing teacher or grade 1 teacher good is with pleasing personality. Kay usay ang bata, di ko kay pangit si ma'am. Agoy, ginoo ko si ma'am. No? Di na bigid madala sa haplas, mag-ampo na lang yun. No? Sandra or Marvelyn, would you like to share also? Siguro mga momshies ni sila, the momshi group. Di ba? Kanang pag first day, gusto bata, yes, Marvy?
Yes, sir. Based lang sa experience, sir, kay akong kids kay 5 years old naman siya. So, enroll na ko siya modular. So, ang assist sa ER got kay nag-work man ko. So, akong mama. So, usay pag-abot sa school, dili gid siya ko answer ka ng lisod man day ka ng ingana siya nga situation kay usahay paadton kay karon kay reading naman sila. So, pag-abot sa reading, dili siya kanang basta bata dili mamatigid bit kay lihok gid kaayo nya patindog-tindog nya mas payo nila ang dula. So ang teacher na kuan gid sir nga lisod day basta ingato siya sir.
Yes, that's actually crucial, no? Thank you for sharing that. It recalled to me some important points of learning. Okay na siguro sa mga grade 3, 4, 5, 6 and above high school nga kaning atong new normal way of learning. Pero kaning si preschool, si daycare, or even si the grades 1 and 2 karon, maglisod na sila og adjust.
Yes, sir.
Number 1, as you shared, can I call you Marvs? Diba? Marvy or Marvelyn?
Yes, sir.
Maglisod sila og adjust nga naman. Tungod kay naara sila sa balay. Di ba?
Yes, sir.
Malimot sila nga nag-eskwela day sila. Pero kay naara man sila sa physical nga structure sa balay. Munang uban nga wa gi mahitabo nga learning. Si mama gid ang first owner karon sa grade 1 kay ang nag-answer. Kato mag-reading assessment, di ba? Paadtuon or ang teacher mag-anha. Tungod kay naara gyapon siya sa environment sa iyang balay, murag joke-joke raman oy, no? Kaning mga bata na to karon mas nana sila insight nga. Ay, joke-joke. Kani ang mga module na to, gihimo ra gid na ning naglabay ang isip sa academic. But really, ang adjustment dana, pagalitan lang. Hopefully by 2022, the next school year, open na ang tanan for classes. Ang hadlok dana is, ang adjustment nila kay naanad sila nga sa balay ra, pagtungtong nila sa ilang pag grade 3 pohon, no? Naanad sad sila nga ang activities nila is katong naanda nila for the first 2 years. Di na sana sila ganahan mo eskwela, ano man. Na kondisyon naman na sila nga balay, no? Abayan lang ni nanay sa pag-answer, no? I-trace ang answer, kopyahon na rin yung gilapis. Kani atong mga grade 4, 5, and 6, junior high ug senior high, kana sila, mas excited na sila nga na face to face. That's why, kana sila, gusto nyo na sila nga mubalik na diretsyo. Pero kaning mga bata na to nga mga, no, chikiting gyud, na-adjustment pa hitabo na nila, na-shift na nga, maglisod sila adjust kay, naanad man sila karon nga sa balay pa. No? That's connected to the learning environment, by the way. No? So, Muna siyang encourage ginato labi na sa homeschooling, no? You set up your home in such a way that it's also a learning space, a learning environment. No? So individuals learn best again when they see that they have a reason for learning. And you cannot really see. Ako din ako makitaan kung namoy rason nga magtuon. No? The law of readiness. Some of you might not be able to attend classes virtually. Not because you don't like it, but there's really times that you don't feel like it. Mo po na ito mga bata, no? Na-exhaust na, no? Na-bored, no? Bored in the house. Next, the law of primacy. Things learned first create a strong impression. And what do we say about first impressions? First impressions?
Last.
Last. And as teachers, we must teach things correctly, rightly, the first time. Ano man, kung imo na lang na istorya na tudlo, gibungat na nimo, mo na gid na ang mutatak or mahinumduman sa imong estudyante. The first things that they learned from you or that you've shared to them or that you've made them do will create a strong impression and lasting impression. Lisod kaayo i-undo. No? Lisod kaayo nga, agoy, class ka nang di mauwi na ni siya. Na istorya na ni mo, ma'am. Na, sir, ipadayon na lugar itong sayop. Nga ako natudlo. Wala gyud sa rason nga nung masayop kapag tudlo because you have to teach correctly the first time. No? Wala usahay, when you have multiple classes, this is based on experience, not just by me, but some of my colleagues as well. When I say multiple classes, I have 3 English grade 10 classes, for example, section 1, 2, and 3. No? Usahay, pag magtudlo ka sa alas 7, alas 8 sa section first ni mga klase na nga day, okay? Usually, you are not 100%. No? Okay, first man ni mga klase. When you say we're not 100%, yes na kay plan, nahuman na ni mga lesson plan, materials, activity. Pero first man ni mga klase, siya ang experimental class, try out, trial class. Pag makita ni mo dito nga, ala, medyo lahi ang response sa mga bata. Pag-abot sa ikaduha nga klase sa alas 9, medyo nanakay-gidugang o nakay-remove kay para mas masyada. Sa ikaduha ni mga klase. Samot na gid sa ikatulong nga klase nimo sa alas 2 sa hapon. Ngano man, master naman ka dito sa duha nimo ka klase daan. Hayahay itong nasa ikatulong nga klase nimo. Kay buga na nimo si 100%. But at any rate, always teach correctly the first time. No? Kaya isip kay, nasayop man ko pag lahi man ako naingon dito sa isa ka section. Dito na ako na-correct sa lahi nga section. Pag kuan sa mga bata, kuan lang itong gikuan ni Ma'am Dai nani. Hala, di man yan na sa amo. Agoy. Unsa din nila ilahi di ang kada section na ilahi, kung first section tarungon, kung second section dili. No? So we have to be very careful labi na ang ato mga bata, no? Kana pag-pronounce gyud, daghan gid na ang mga estudyante karon is critical, no? Mismo kita bisag kita, no? Nasayop lang pag-pronounce ng mga gahi kaayo mga vowel, no, e, no? Ang mga bata na naghunghong na. Gihunghong na nga nasayop. Balik-balikon na nila ang mga wrong pronunciation. Samot ang formula kung nasayop pag pagtudlo, agoy. Si ma'am na unsa ba? No? Na lagi giapelidohan man tag maestra. There's no room for mistake for a teacher. Ingon sila. Law of recency. Okay. The most recently learned are best remembered. Okay. Of course, because it is stored in the the short-term memory, okay, and before it goes to the long-term memory. Okay, so kanang mga bag-o fresh from the experience mo gid nasa ibabaw sa imong una. Okay, so most recent best remembered katusang kani adto pa nimo natun-an medyo na nasa didi sa likod sa imong una, no? So law of recency mo nang pagkahuman gid sa mga lessons or topics na ginay mga quiz dayon, check up quiz, review quiz pagkaugma dayon the next day before mag-start ang klase para ma-check dayon kung nabagi nabilin dadto, nabagi nitatak dadto from there, okay, learning. Then law of intensity. The more intense the material taught, the more it is likely learned. That's the law of intensity. Okay? Kung earthquake pa lugar. Now, the teacher who knows the curriculum well will be able to identify which topics or which of the coverage must be given attention with proportionate time. In the curriculum guide, it will tell you the budget of how many sessions, how many weeks will this be covered. So makita man mo nga, kani nga topic, kani nga competency from the curriculum guide, 1 day lang. Okay. So 1 day meaning it's a light topic or easily accomplished competency. Ay kani kay 2 to 3 days or 1 week yun siya nga lesson. Kitagaan na siya na nga budget because that is also where you have to focus more or give more so that students can learn more. Okay? So intensity of the concentration of the subject matter or even the competency is actually in the curriculum guide. No, mahibaan mo dito kay naka-budget na naa siya diha kung pila ka weeks or hours ang imong pagtudlo or pag-achieve da ng competency. Ang problema lang ani is on the part of the teacher. Ano man, naarabi kita yung mga 40-40 sa mana. Natay mga atong favorite ba? Na favoritism bitaw usahay sa atong topic. Kani kay pansit kay nako nga topic, kani kay ganahan kay ko dani kay mo gini akong pinaka bright kay ko dani basta kani nga topic. Kana din imong tagaan og mas taas nga panahon o pagtagad. Even if that topic is just short or relatively short in terms of the budget in the curriculum. No? Kay imo man ang kuan expertise ganahan gyud na magpalabig gyud na. Pero kato sa mga topic nga dili nimo no favorite no aglikay-likay ka imo rin na siyang lakbay-lakbayan or surface lang no tapsing kay hindi ko da kapoy kay tulo na din kaning sa mga quantum mechanics o kaning mga calculus na kinahanglan man na kay nakabutang man na sa curriculum guide no pero ang uban tan-aw nila nga ang kay kani kuan ni siya kanang kuan ni siya pahapyaw. So careful kay kung asang gitagaan nimo og taas nga panahon mo na ang matun-an sa bata. Na kung mas taas ang panahon imong pagpangasabaw pangyaw-yaw naamot o sa matun-an. Amot lang karon kay we cannot say kay modular or online, di ba? Pero sa unang panahon si ma'am, si sir, ang klase, pero pagkataon-taon nag-share na sa iyang life story, maalala mo kaya, ano sa minatunan sa bata? Imong life story, ma'am. Imong mga kuan kaagi. So remember that law of intensity. And then of course, the law of freedom. Things freely learned are best learned. Okay, things freely learned are best learned. If you're given the chance, well, Miss Universe, if you're given a chance, okay, what would you do? What would you pick out as an activity? Diba? In group work or tasks or anything that you let the students do, give them some options. Do not just give them one. Remember, that's why we have multiple intelligences theory and learning styles so that we can accommodate. You can provide options. Okay. For this, lesson, your output will be choose from the following. You can create a poster, you can create a song or jingle, you can create a drama, you can compose a poem of the same competency but of the differentiated products. And when students will choose, they will choose what they love. And freely when they choose, then they will do better. Kay kung isa ra gid imong gihatag nga option, why option isa ra? Maghimo og tula. Di man siya ganahan og tula kay di man siya verbal linguistic. Sir, pwede ka nang drawing na lang gamay sa tula. Ayaw, tula ra. Basin mas ma-express na niya through art. So the teacher, we as teachers, should provide options for activities and for tasks or outputs so that the students will have the freedom to choose. And that will ensure that they will learn. Okay, so those are the 7 laws: effect, exercise, readiness, primacy, recency, intensity, and freedom. End of slideshow. Questions? Clarifications? Anything that you'd like to comment on our principles and laws of learning? Okay.
Wala na, sir.
Wala na, grabe kay sila
None so far.
Silence means, no? Yes, gigayo. Now, sige, ako na lang yung mga tanak eh. Wa man sa inyo mga comment. Okay. Which of the following laws of learning, of the 7, okay? Which of the following laws of learning, okay, have you had significant experience with? Sa inyong, if you trace back your learning history sa inyong pag-eskwela, okay, asa na ng mga laws of learning ang makaingon gid ka nga diha gid ko nakatuon, or na tungod na nga law of learning, I learned something like this. Yes? Question? Question? Answer? Kasi gusto mag-answer? Kung mag-ingon ba ko nga di, gamiton ako ang law of effect na. Ang nay ma-share karon dito kay tagaan ako siya og kuan. Sa ba ko ihatag house and lot? Pangkabuhayan showcase? Ada lagi na ganun. Ang tanawa? Oh. Francis?
Ako, sir, kadto sa law of exercise, sir.
I love exercise. Sige.
Kay labi na itong elementary pa ko nga kanabitang multiplication, sir. Primero atong galisod pa man ko, galisod ako memorize sa multiplication table. Sa high, kaya hindi pa ako maka-memorize ko, siun ko sa kungkuan, mama. Until nga, sa sige na kong memorize, sir. Sige na kong kuan, na-memorize agad. Nawala lagi mo tingog, sir.
Naka-mute ka, sir.
Okay, I'm back. So naka-memorize ka, good. Wala man sa ka nahurot imong bukton pagkusi sa imong mama.
Wala naman po, sir.
Okay, that's good. Sige. Of course, kana no. Me also. I have a very not traumatic but my multiplication table. I'm not good in math in the first place, pero kana pag multiply good, my God. Ang bilang gi ko na daw kabunalan sa akong mama kay di gyapon ko pagka-memorize. No? Lisod na kanang times na table gid hadlok lagi kay sa una grade 4 ka grade 3 mag-times na mura gid sa maundang ng kalibutan kay times na dayon. Okay, I think Angie and who raised the hand earlier? Sheila? Sige, Angie.
Sa ako, sir, is ang kining law of effect kato mga reward system, mga incentives. Since high school, magud sa mo sa una, sir, uso kaayo ang if kani ma-perfect nimo na then may exemption din sa exam. So kami tanang classmates sa una is maningkamot gid mi nga maka-perfect mi or maka-participate mi para exempted mi sa exam.
Yes. I also have that. And not just with the classroom. I remember kinder pa siguro ko or grade 1, I don't know. Pag exam, pag ma 100, malipa din ang mama kay 100. Ang palitan din sa ice cream. No, ganang ko na mga 100 agud tan-awa. Kadaghan ko na 100 sa una kay makita man sa kong lawas karon nga sige kog ice cream. Di ba? Ang uban kay tigumon ang papel, tigumon kay bali piso. Palito.
Palito sa papa.
Palito.
Butang sa bumbong, sir, butang.
Oh, di ba? You do that with your children also, Sandra?
Yes, sir.
Usahay magud kinahanglan natin ang kanang rewards usahay ang tawag na kay bribery, no? Murag natin mga suborno para sa atong mga anak para di ba kung 100 ka, di ba? Palitan sa imong gusto unsa ba tagaan og treat, di ba? Karon siguro mga bata Jollibee na yun pagkahuman sa exam or pag-exam Jollibee. Pagkano sa Jollibee para maka-answer mo 100. Adabi ko sa exam na sa nimo gipakon sa Jollibee na before nag-exam kay no? Biplop ra man og ginamos, 100 ka to siya. Pakanadaan sa lami og mga masustansyang pagkain para paabot sa tig-exam. Ganado ang utok di kay pag-exam ra palitan sa Jollibee. Di man mag-epekto ang manok kasi research na nag-ingon na maka-bright ang manok. Makabayot daw ko ng hinuon. Tanawa. Okay, Sheila. Would you like to share something, Sheila?
Okay, sir. For me, sir, ang kining law of effect, sir, pero dili siya kini ang in a way of rewards, ano, kining kay as I remember kay Sir Alex before, yahaman ning advisory. Tapos every morning, 'di ba, kailangan maghinlo gid sa inyong area. Tapos na ay 6:45 dapat na ana ka sa school kay para makahinlo pa ka. Pero ang pang Sir Alex is, pag malate ka, wala na kay chance to do oral recitation. And kung si Sir Alex gani, ang oral recitation ra gid ang imuhang way nga maka-score ka sa iya, di ba? So, kami, nga mga latecomers, gapaning kamot mi nga dili malate kay ang amuang time, kay amo mang isulat sa reflection, kay ang malate sa school, dili makahinlo sa area, magsulat og reflection. Nga pila ba to ka pages, tapos dili maka-oral kung dili makasulatan ang reflection. So kato siya law of effect, mura kibali ang reward namo is katong oral recitation.
Di ba? Napay pakapindan nga nangamatay na ang mga bugok, inilibing ko na. But
Buhay ka pa.
Di ba? Grabe nga effect. And I think for those GCCNs here that especially with the very unique Tatay Sir Alex, di ba? The law of effect, the Robles effect, has I think some positive.
Yes, sir. Very positive, sir.
With all due respect and love for Sir Alex, yung mga bugok na aglaway-laway, it has produced very positive results. For example, Sheila, Trisha, who else is here? Saira, those who are GCCians. And if you have children, I'm not saying promote na ako ang GCC, please. Pero you will know the difference, the effect, as we say. And anything more, or anyone else would like to share? Cherry, do you want to share? The raise hand button is on you. Who else would like to share? Wala nga mag-share. Ang mag-share karon padala gid ako ni sa GCash.
Sir, nag-raise hand eh.
Yes, Shane, di ba? Sorry. GCash, ito kaya ko sa muna joke. Sige, Shane. Share.
Yes, sir. Mauday dili may katawag. Okay. Sa ako, sir, is law of exercise. Kay ang iya pa lang definition is things most often repeated are best remembered. So way back sa college, repeated. So, duha ka semester ako ang disayang tanan subjects is failed ko. It's because siguro nabaguhan ko sa society, sa environment na ako, na na-idol Silver Rain, o uban pang mga naa sa kilid-kilid. That's why, when I took it sa other school na dayon, and then maybe nag-change. And then mo tuwa siya, ma-remember na ko always ang mga kanaang repeated subjects na ako na time wasted po na ako at the same time. And then full of regrets at the end. That's all.
But we must not live on regrets. We have to turn
Enjoy
those
the
regrets
regrets.
into the regrets are actually lessons. Okay, we
Yes.
convert them positively, diba? So
Correct.
yes, the repeats are actually we're not saying diba, kung kapila ka nagbalik-balik, siya ro di ka makatuon, diba? Of course, the time wasted is the time also spent for reflection or spent for realization.
Enjoyment.
Yes,
Sure.
on the side, enjoyment on the side. Yes, thank you, Sheila, Shane. Who was that earlier? Angie. Okay. Yes, Mr. Boris, would you like to share something?
Law of freedom.
Yes.
Law of freedom akong gipili sir kay kanang kasab-an bitaw ka sa maestro ug maestra. Moingon sila sa kuana. You may go out now, Sir Paul. Okay ma'am, thank you. Thank you kay sa freedom.
Oh, okay. Freedom for you to go. Sige. If okay, thank you.
Literal, sir.
Literal. Kasi,
Speaker man guys, sir.
Miss Limbaro, would you like to share? Would you like to go out? Okay. Would you like to share?
Ano lang sir, in addition lang kay Ma'am Shella Rapista, ang for me sir is kaning law of readiness kay Sir Robles Japon siya since first year to fourth year sir. Maski dili ka ready gyud sa iyang klase, dapat you have to be ready gyud siya kay kamog yung tanan is matawag yun niya during oral station, tapos kung wala mo kay oral kung di ka maka-answer is mutindog jud dapat ka dili ka makaingkod, so medyo olaw ba siya sir kay daghan galabay sa sa gawa, so moto maningkamot dapat ka dapat ready jud, and then basa ka before siya mag-discuss, so maor to siya, so at least naapod kay na learn nga kanang dili lang bitaw ka sir, like you have to be ready always, so dili lang kay tungod kay nagsulti ang teacher ani yung buhaton, so ingani maski kula siya nagsulti dapat kanang jud ready, so more to sir.
Yes, ready giga kay mag-ingon mo siya tawag. Ang assistant niya tawag. Diba?
Bullseye.
Ang mahiwagang tawag dayon. Baka na sa tawag ng tanghalan, nakawawa gid ka. Okay, thank you so much. Who else? Cherry, are you raising your hand? Cherry Fabre?
Fabre, sir? Fabre?
Yes, Fabre. You want to share? Nag-raise hand?
For me, sir, I chose law of freedom.
Yes.
Kadunggan?
Yes.
Yes, sir, because during my high school days at St. Rita, kanang among subject teacher maghatag og topic, tapos kami gatagaan nila og freedom or chance nga magpili kung ang topic amo ba siyang through poem or through dancing or either role playing, depende sa among concert kanang availability sa among skill nga kaya na mo himuon.
Yes, thank you so much. That's actually one of the manifestations of the law of freedom. Okay. Anything else or any question or clarification that you'd like to make? Going once, twice, going, gone. Okay. So that will be all for this afternoon's topic. Yay! Yay, because a lot of sharers for today and a lot of interaction from you. I hope we'll have more. I'm just worried that we are just 31 this afternoon. What happened to the rest? For those of you who will be viewing this video, where are you? Okay, we hope that you will be able to join us in the next in the next sessions that we will have. Now, I will be giving a quiz. Ta-dang, quiz. It's a quiz assignment. I will be posting it through our Google Classroom. Okay, so it's a quiz assignment. It's not really a quiz that you really need to automatically answer, but it will be a quiz assignment, which will take you about 2 to 3 days. Okay, to accomplish or to be able to submit. So check out the Google Classroom, our Google Classroom later, because I will be posting the quiz assignment over there. And if you don't have any questions, thank you so much for your time, for joining us this afternoon. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Happy Saturday and Sunday, and continue to move forward with learning. Keep safe, stay healthy, and be motivated all the time. God bless everyone, and see you next time.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Bye,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Salamat.
Apun ka.
Sir, no freedom ng
Arigatou gozaimashita. Arigatou gozaimashita, sensei.
The law of freedom now, Mr. Boris. Oh.
Kung dungagan bitaw na ako, sir, pito ka law of, once sa dungagan ako, law of attraction.
Goodbye na lang, sir.
Bye bitaw, sir.
Bye, sir.
Pas, Ma'am Shane, oy.